Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ITSS Verona Member Series podcast. My name is Rosa, and together with Eleonora, Isabelle, and Alessandro, we form the UK and European Affairs team here at ITSS Verona. With us today is Mr Morsman, who graduated at Utrecht Law School and then achieved a master's degree in criminal justice police science in the Dutch Police Academy. Currently is working as a senior security advisor at the Dutch Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Lieutenant Colonel Strategic Advisor Network Military at the Dutch Ministry of Defense. From 2006 to 2017, Mr. Morsman has been head of security department at the Hague campus of Leiden University. And without further ado, we would like to ask, how has the COVID-19 pandemic shifted security priorities for the Netherlands and within the Dutch Ministry for Foreign Affairs? Do you believe these priorities are likely to further shift in the future?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to join your podcast. Great honor. Thank you for the question. Yes, we are on this moment still in a severe lockdown in the Netherlands. Hopefully, we will hear tomorrow evening when the Prime Minister will give an interview that as from Saturday, maybe the measures will for a part of that decrease. I hope for all the shop owners and restaurant owners, but I think that it will still be a difficult task. But in respect to your question, security in the Netherlands, on this moment, there's a lot of aggression against the police. They have a hard time. I myself was senior police officer in Amsterdam, but I see my colleagues working very hard, and of course also staff in hospitals are working very hard for a long time. But we have a problem within our inhabitants. More and more people are due the COVID-19 measures. They do not like it anymore. Of course, I have some sympathy, of course, because shop owners, restaurant owners, they are for a long time have no business, no income, and of course there is some support from the government, but of course it's not enough. So a lot of shop owners and restaurant owners they quit, and they are more or less they want to stop it, and they see, of course, in Europe, other countries without a lockdown, and in fact, our lockdown, of course, it helped us to buy some time and to increase the boost vaccinations, and of course, it's helping, but still. Our numbers of vaccination are also increasing, despite of the severe lockdown now for almost 4 weeks. So it's difficult. There are difficult times, not only in the Netherlands. I think in Europe, in the world, I see a lot of problems, and of course that has some respect also due to. The security forces, they face a lot of aggression from their own inhabitants, where they, in first time they want to help, and they are there for our order in society, and that's becoming a big problem. And tomorrow I was in a session with other embassies in the Netherlands, and they also see that problem in their own countries, but also more incidents are evolving, more demonstrations, and of course we live in a free democratic country, and that's great, but the problems are increasing. And when I look to our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of course, we are now almost 2 years living with COVID-19 measures. And for our embassies and consulates, it was also a hard time. Not so that our threats were increasing. That's maybe the positive outcome of COVID-19, because there were less incidents and less aggressions. But yeah, for our embassy staff, it was difficult to travel, of course. They had to come back to the Netherlands for vaccination. So we most of our embassies went back to skeleton staff. On this moment, it's getting better. More and more diplomats are going back to their post, but still we have a lot of problems in high-risk countries, especially where we managed a lot of projects and they are on a hold. For instance, in Afghanistan, we had an embassy there. Of course, we evacuated all the diplomats, and with the evacuation, all the projects were going on there: agriculture, teaching for girls, radio station. They all shut down, and that's becoming a big problem, I think.
So thank you. We're looking forward to see the current developments of
Yes.
security in the Netherlands.
Thank you for response, Mr. Morsman. My question is, as the COVID-19 pandemic complicated Dutch national security and European security, all
yes,
contributed.
Yes. Yeah, I think, thank you for your question. I think that, as I mentioned before, in all our countries in Europe, we have severe times, difficult times. So security and safety is involved. Of course, the health, a lot of people passed away. That's very tragic. Staff in hospitals, doctors, they have a very difficult time. So, and we are still within an Omicron crisis. Hopefully, not as bad as the first COVID-19 pandemic, but yes, what I mentioned before, our police force, and I think also in other EU countries, they face a lot of aggression, a lot of demonstration against the taken measures. It's difficult, I think, for police to maintain on continuity. Also, a lot of police officers are sick or cannot work. So that's becoming a problem in the Netherlands, and maybe also in other countries. But I think we have to stick together. I think Europe is has a lot of potential still. There is a lot of money, of course, involved, and still we have a lot of refunds we can use for that. But in fact, we need strong leadership. We need an international commitments to stick together and to work it out. And I hope that within the EU, and of course, at the moment, we see the problems in Ukraine and the discussions with the Russians. Yeah, that's quite a problem. And then, of course, Americans are helping us, but still we have to do our own homework, and we have to do our own. We have to support our own countries. Our defense has to be on order. I think more money has to go to defense budgets for NATO. because that is necessary, I think. And of course, we are a defense organization. NATO is a defense organization, but the Russians in Ukraine are pretty aggressive. So of course, I hope with diplomatic ways we can solve different options and a solution, I hope. But still, we need a strong defense, and hopefully it's not needed in the future, but we have to rely on it, and we cannot lean still on our American friends. So security is involved and will be becoming a bigger problem, I think, not only in some parts of the world where they are fighting always, but also within Europe, because due to COVID measures, also our own inhabitants have a big problem, and we're getting more and more problems due to aggression, and people are losing their jobs and so on. So I hope that we stick together, and I think strong leadership is necessary on this moment.
Thank you so much for your insightful answer. I have a next question for you. So considering your experience, how can we expect recent strategic security autonomy discussions and France's presidency of the Council of the European Union to affect security discussions in the Netherlands?
Yes, thank you for the question. Yeah, of course, I hope that also the new Dutch government, they started 2 days ago. I think I hope they will manage to solve our problems, but still they have to also to stick to their European colleagues to help them where it is possible. And I hope the presidency that is now started by France, and of course President Macron, he is an experienced politician. Of course, in a few months, I think he hopes to be re-elected, of course. But yeah, he has to. It's a pretty tough job on this moment to get to show leadership, of course, to have all the European states together and join together. And especially the problems on this moment with Ukraine and the threat from the Russians. Yeah, that is quite a problem to go in good solution. And of course, NATO is also involved. Americans are involved, but there are also a lot of economic problems. The new gas pipeline, Nord Stream, from Russia to Europe. So Russia and Europe, and we need the gas, and Russia needs the cash. But yeah, the Ukraine incident is becoming a bigger problem, and I hope France and by President Macron can solve this problem.
Thank you, Mr. Morsman, for your answers. This marks the end of our interview. Thank you again for respecting our timelines, and thank you for your participation and your interesting answers that you gave us on the Netherlands and on EU security prospects in view of the COVID-19 pandemic and France's presidency of the Council of the European Union. On behalf of my colleagues, I thank you again, and it was a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much. It was for me also a pleasure to meet you, and I hopefully we meet again in future in good health. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.